I'll be scouring the news for weird and wonderful stories to make you laugh. So, what does reporter John Craig want for his birthday?
Couple of big butts.
He cannot lie. But what does he want those butts to do?
Wriggle, wriggle, wriggle.
I'm pretty sure someone spiked Glenn Beck's coffee.
Lawnmowers that magically created 50 jobs.
I love it when reporters lose it.
Staying and doing nothing is as heinous as doing it all.
It's just the most beautiful face you've ever seen. Hey, do you see Bill Clinton talking about his penis surgery?
I have to admit I am stunned by the results. There has been an 88% reduction.
Why the reduction, Jeremy?
Literally shagged out, I suppose. Good night.
Now, my favourite clip of the week has to be this. Nobody saw this coming.
And with me is the organiser who goes by the name of Oscar Mouse. I'm assuming, Oscar, a made-up name.
A made-up name? No, my dad was a bastard.
So, obviously, the big political story of the year will be the general election. But who to vote for?
Everywhere I go, people say the same thing to me.
Who are you? You could go for Cameron.
If the next election is about, let's not have a posh Prime Minister, I mean, I'm not going to win it.
Damn right. Jesus, have you seen his skin? The man is so wrinkle-free. I bet his scrotum looks like Amanda Holden's forehead. God bless the Tories. They genuinely thought this poster would bring success. We disagreed. We took one look at it and we took the piss. There's one of those. This, without doubt, was my personal favourite. You could go for Gordon Brown. Poor old Gordon, look at that photo. His face looks like Eeyore has had a prolapse. No one's trying to make him smile. Don't, look at it. A smile doesn't belong on his face. It's like seeing Marilyn Manson on a bouncy castle. And he really needs to ease up on using the word good.
You got a job today. Yeah. Congratulations. When do you start?
I'm going to go for my induction next week.
Good,
and
good.
The following week we start work.
Good.
The garden and cleaning work.
Good, good.
So, yeah.
What made the difference for you?
Just feels good to be getting back into work finally.
Good, good.
That's been looking for work, advisors, everyone.
Good, good. And they've been good to you here, have they?
Yeah.
That's good.
Did you see the recent Brown and Cameron interviews?
If he thinks I'm going to come bearing sweeties, then he's in for a bit of a surprise. He's about to face the biggest challenge of his career.
Oh, yeah. You gave him a battering.
Do you have your own private loo?
How childish is that? Do you have a special poo place? The questions, unbelievably, got even tougher.
Did you ever go to a supermarket? When was the last time you went to your supermarket? Have you ever been a plonker?
It's so vapid. And what's frustrating, Brown could have won the nation so easily just by going, Piers, can you stop talking for a minute? Because every time you open your mouth, I can smell Simon Cowell's dick. High-fiving everyone in the studio. It wasn't just Gordon. Cameron faced the wrath of another media heavyweight.
It's X Factor or Strictly. Fish and chips or Coronation Street or EastEnders.
Would you like a Scotch egg for the face or sausages for fingers?
It's just so inane. What's Nick Clegg gonna do? Go on Loose Women?
How big's your willy? When's the last time you did it? Do you like blondes or brunettes?
I'll tell you, he'd win my vote if he went on there with a hammer. But then that's just me. To be honest, I'd vote for any of them that shot this guy.
Go compare! Go compare!
Tell the joke! Or pay a meerkat to do it.
This new advert today. We have the big fat go compare man. Lock and load, Tubby. Lock and load.
Gavin, there's been some strange goings on in the animal kingdom. I think cats have got it in for us.
Oscar the cat, who lives in a nursing home in Providence, Rhode Island, seems to have an uncanny knack for predicting when patients are about to die.
A cat that predicts death? Wow! Mine just likes to lick his own arse. Or scare me, the ginger bastard. The other day, I woke up with him on my face, terrifying. I thought I'd gone down on Anne Robinson. That is no way to wake up. What I want to know, how does Oscar predict their deaths? There are their cats going, fancy going through the bins in a minute? Pneumonia, cancer, strangle wank. Good day to you, sir.
5 other cats. The 2-year-old roams free here on the 3rd floor of Steerhouse Nursing Home. But unlike the others, or even the doctors,
He's been involved with the last 25 deaths we had on the unit.
Involved? That makes him sound like a supervillain. Like he sat there in a swivel chair, just stroking a human.
You're going to die. Isn't that right, Sebastian?
he curls up, just like this, only on the beds of patients who are a couple of hours from passing.
Sidles up to old people and then they die. Who was he in a previous life? This guy. I'll tell you what, you wouldn't want your granddad living there. Imagine the frantic calls. What's wrong, Granddad? I gotta go. There's some killer pussy in my room. Ethel?
He will only go and stay with patients that are about to die. He will leave rooms, for example, when patients are not close, even though we might perceive them to be close.
Imagine living there. Fucker. I'll be smearing everyone's pajamas with kitty cat. It isn't just moggies causing mayhem. In Ohio, there have been reports of bears in people's gardens.
The black bear was roaming through Tina Marison's backyard.
The operator said, "What is your emergency?" And I said, "You're not going to believe this, but they're in my woods here." And she says, "It's a black bear."
The best thing about this story is how they convey the sheer terror of seeing a black bear in your garden.
This recreation identifies how witnesses say the bear escaped into the woods.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? He can even climb trees.
Black bears can be on the ground or can climb in trees.
This is so brilliantly shit. Mind you, it isn't just in America that animals have gone wild. Even here in Britain, we're under siege.
It sort of jumps up at people and tries to peck them.
Chasing people with dogs have been walking along the street.
A ghost feel with its beak and its claws.
Oh my God. What kind of beast is this?
For weeks now, a rogue pheasant's been terrorising the people of Newsham.
Terrorising? What's he doing? Throwing his eggs at him. You looking at my plumage, Bender?
So what did it do to you? It just kept coming back at me and pecking at me. I mean, it took a bite out of this leg.
He had a knife. He had a knife. He was probably on drugs. Wacky backy.
I shouldn't really joke. I saw one in my garden last week. So, evil cats, fake bears, terrorising pheasants. You're probably thinking, you can't top that. Guess again.
A feisty raccoon has bitten off a pervert's penis as he was trying to rape the animal.
The good thing about that, you laughed on the first joke. Listen to the second. Can we play that VT again?
A feisty raccoon has bitten off a pervert's penis as he was trying to rape the animal.
Raccoon rape. I've been pissed in my time. I've been horny. I've never looked at a rodent and thought, I'm going to tap that bitch.
When I saw the raccoon, I thought I'd have some fun, he told stunned casualty surgeons in Moscow. Now Russian plastic surgeons are trying to restore his mangled manhood.
But how did they convey the sheer terror of seeing that on the news? Wouldn't it be hilarious if he was in the waiting room with Casualty and this programme came on?
The raccoon.
Come to think of it, his rod probably looks like Cyril Sneer's nose. Bloggers have been outraged. To be honest, I'm with this guy.
What kind of people are these friends of his that they would let him rape a poor defenseless raccoon and not even videotape it?
Radiates. Now, did you see this?
A female motorist has had an amazing escape after her car became attached to a truck's bumper.
It was unbelievable. Did you see the mobile phone footage? It's unbelievable. This is the A1 in Yorkshire. Incredibly, nobody was hurt. Even more incredibly, I've actually got footage from inside the lorry. Joke, of course. Now, there's been loads of bizarre stories this week. Have you seen what the National Trust have been up to?
So proud are they of their fresh air here at the Stourhead Estate in Wiltshire. The National Trust has gathered hundreds of jars of the stuff and taken it up to London to impress the stressed out city population.
They're giving away jars of country air to stressed city workers. I'd love to see that. Country air. Incest. Casual racism. Dogging. Have you seen the experts discussing it? If you look closely, I think she might be sniffing her hair.
You can smell spring and summer coming through in there, and it's just a very peaceful place. Just whatever's going on, whatever the weather.
What I don't get, how can you relieve stress with a jar of air?
I know, I booked it. Prague. It's going to be mental, mate. Mental. mental, chicken oriental. Don't talk to me, my girl. Stay me.
This guy's had a belter of a week.
Bus driver Kevin Halstead isn't picking up passengers today, but he is picking up a cheque for £2.3 million after winning the lottery.
Yep, this is the incredible story reported in The Sun that driver wins $2 million 24 hours after divorce. Yeah, exactly. Have you seen what his plans are?
Kevin's determined not to let the money change him. After taking a couple of weeks off, he'll be back driving his bus on the 125 from Preston to Bolton.
Not going to change him. Bollocks. Imagine him driving that bus. The wheels on the bus go wherever they want, wherever they want. The wheels on the bus go wherever they want. I'm a millionaire. Why do they always say, it'll never change me? I want it to change them. I want to see them buying mad stuff. I want some loopy son of a bitch going, first things first, I'm going to get me dog gold teeth, right? Then I'm going to give him a boob job, right? Then I'm going to get my boss a massive cake made of shit. And then I'm going to buy a racehorse called I Love Anal just to hear women shouted at Ascot. That's what we want, nutters! Don't you just love it when people celebrate properly?
That's the end of the race, and I can tell you, certainly, that neither Denman nor Porto have won. So, we think the winner was... I think... Someone's very happy about his their apologies if he managed to pick up on that. A local person who didn't back the two favourites went against the Gravies. Obviously extremely happy here. The chap was the man that we just spoke to. He might need a police escort on the way home, I should think, actually, because there aren't too many other people in the pub that are feeling the same way as he has.
Lots of bizarre education stories about. Did you see this school in Australia?
A Sydney primary school has found itself at the hub of one of the city's most densely packed red light districts. It's surrounded by a dozen brothels and sex shops, and the education department admits there's little it can do.
Incredible! I thought the kids will never forget the day they lost their virginity. They'll have a receipt. Sex shops outside of school. What do we have outside ours? Imagine the school trips, just them in assembly. We went to Tina's tit pit and we saw all sorts of clunge. My favourite person was a lady called Destiny, but I am not sure she understood the rules of ping pong. This, without doubt, is my favourite bit of the news coverage.
There are 5 massage parlours, 5 brothels, and 3 adult bookshops.
And you've just shown the kids exactly where they are. To be honest, this story isn't that surprising. Australians are pretty dirty. They've even made computer games look sexual.
Yep. Is this footage going to come back to haunt us or what? Rowdy, help me. Do we need to...
Here it comes.
Go over that way.
Here it comes. Nice.
Talking of sex, great news for underage players. Condoms for 12-year-old boys go on sale in Switzerland. Johnnies for 12-year-olds. What are they going to do? Flavour them? Ribena. That's right, baby doll, and it's tooth kind. They're going to put cartoons on them. Oh, darling, let's see if you can find Nemo. There he is. He's gone again. There he is. He's gone again. Watch out. He's a bottom feeder. How are they going to buy them anyway? Ask an adult. It's going to be a brave man that struts into a shop and goes, a packet of your finest child-sized condoms, please. I've got a horny 12-year-old outside and he's ready to go. This isn't the weirdest sheath story of the week. There is talk of JLS bringing out a condom.
Now, look, this is naughty, but is it true that you are going to promote your own brand of condoms? Is that right? I read that in the paper, so I have to ask them. Obviously, extra large.
Extra large, not really. Anyone can fit the letters JLS on their wang. It's not as if it's Engelbert Humperdinck. Christ, you'd need a rod like E.T.'s finger. Celebrity condoms are a nightmare. I tried the Luke Skywalker one. Rubbish. My knob glowed green and I tried to shag my sister. JLS condoms, what next? Robert Patterson on tampons. Get in there, you vampire son of a bitch! You feast tonight, Robert! Now, strange news from Italy.
Reverend Gabriele Amorth made headlines around the world recently when he said the devil was present in the Vatican.
Satan living in the Vatican. I wonder how they're going to show that on the news. This is the Vatican's chief exorcist, Gabriele Amorth.
You shouldn't be surprised if the devil tempts those in the Vatican. That's his job.
His job? It's the ultimate get-out-of-jail card, isn't it? I've done a bad thing, bloody devil. Did you see the quote from the chief exorcist? At times, the devil makes fun of me. How? Do you reckon he's on the floor praying and a voice just goes, not the first time you've been on your knees. Gobble, gobble. Just floating paw mags in the air. Woo! Woo! Actually, they're priests. It's probably kid shoes. Just woo! If you're offended by that joke, it wasn't me, it was the devil. Now, sometimes it's hard to know what's going on in a baby's head. Are they bored? Are they surprised? Was sat down, I'm now on the wall next to Fred. Or are they just angry? Well, worry no more, because the iPhone has come up trumps.
called the Cry Translator. It's pretty simple to use. When your baby begins to cry, you open the application, you hold it near your baby. Press start on the application. It will immediately begin to analyze your baby's cry.
Do we really want to know what babies are thinking? They haven't developed any social skills. What if they're really rude? The kid goes, wah! The iPhone goes, oi! Tits! Here! No! You want me floppers out? Yes, Dad. Problem? Jog on. Where do you think you're going, Jugs? That's what I'm talking about! What if they're surprisingly profound? Why are you crying? And the iPhone's like,
because, Mother, it's 2010, and the world is still living in crippling poverty. And I've sued myself.
Maybe the translator isn't a good idea. That said, I would love to know what these babies were thinking.
What a party I am having. Oh, my God. Oh, no, don't. Oh, God. Mother, a taxi. We are leaving.
Where in the hell is this crazy white woman taking my ass? She got veins on her arm like a goddamn crack whore. I think the Cry Translator will be popular, but it's not my favourite baby app, not by a long shot. Now, you think the baby translator is strange? Look at this invention from Sweden. Clothes that play music when touched. You're probably thinking, great idea, I'm a walking disco. Wrong. What if you're walking past a kid's playground and suddenly... out of nowhere, a funeral procession goes by. A bloke walks past with a guide dog.
I can see clearly.
You're outside a shelter for abused wives. What a day. What a fucking day. Now, the biggest story in sport at the moment is definitely this.
Superstar soccer player David Beckham has suffered
a serious Achilles injury
in AC Milan's 1-0 win over Chievo.
Can you just describe to us what you saw happening? Beckham's Achilles tendon snapped. Ouch.
弱角筋断裂，可进行手术。
But he won't recover in time to play in South Africa.
There's been worldwide hysteria, but every man in Britain went, oh, thank God it wasn't Rooney. Watching Rooney at the minute is a bit like watching Bambi walk across a minefield, isn't it? Yeah. Don't get hurt, Wayne, don't get hurt. Oh, he's made it. Beckham won't be playing, but all's not lost.
Now, he might be out injured, but David Beckham could be going to the World Cup after all. The England coach Fabio Capello has asked the former captain to travel with the squad to South Africa.
Not playing and still going all that way. Surely he'll get bored, just sat in the dugout.
Oi, Fabio. You know that an anagram of Nelson Mandela is send melon anal. Lonely. I'm so lonely.
I think it's a great idea. I say we use him for sabotage. Just as the opposition are about to kick off, he strips down to his pants and sits with their wags.
All right, girls.
Or failing that, he could play his wife's music outside their hotel. Imagine that. Ah! No! It sounds like a fox fucking a bagpipe. Or he could get a fox to do that. That might work. Although if he had those powers, that would be playing football.
Watch me control the animals.
Tell you what, that would really change Springwatch, wouldn't it?
Behold! I am their necromancer.
Not everyone's concerned with Beckham's injury. Arsene Wenger is still struggling with Hollyoaks.
It's difficult to understand, but maybe I'm not intelligent enough.
Did you hear that massive cheer across the country last week? All caused by this.
I have good news. If you struggle at the gym, you like a few beers, and you prefer a juicy doner kebab to anything remotely healthy, because it seems that a certain Miss Cheryl Cole has had it with the six-pack.
Yes, this is the amazing story that Cheryl Cole fancies pot-bellied blokes. Oh, imagine the front row of the next Girls Aloud concert, just a load of fat men dancing next to teenage girls. It'll be like Thailand. It will, man. Wouldn't it be great if Cheryl starts cruising buffets? Wouldn't that be fantastic? You, over there, you've had 3 plates. Put the rest in a doggy bag and get in my van. There's just a load of other fat men in the van. Where's she taking us? Eat your pies, you're gonna need your strength. When I get you back to Cheryl's Love Palace. We know that Cheryl likes the big fellas. I can't wait to see her next single. My man's a chubby butter stuffing kicks into his gob. He's so big when he looks down, he can barely see his knob. I like to slap the fat and watch it rip around his hips. When we shag, he likes to eat his curry off my tits. Whoa, 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 hot belly man! He wobbles when he waddles. I'm a spare tire fan. I want him fat and sweating puddles. He eats the grapes, he never runs. His BMI is 91. And look, this man's the man for me. Now, if you've never seen Good News before, what I like to do, I take the piss, and then at the end of the show, I like to show you a story that makes you feel better about the world. And here it is.
When Finlay Lomax suffered a stroke after his premature birth, doctors feared he faced the rest of his life in a wheelchair. That prediction seemed ominously accurate until the arrival of an unlikely source of inspiration. Ming Ming the Duck is getting the credit for inspiring Finlay to take his first steps at the age of 4. Finlay's mum says she'd almost given up hope until the baby bird landed in their lives with a damaged leg of his own.
Where Ming Ming came into our lives with a splayed leg and needed his own little cast in, like Finlay usually has his cast on, Finlay's kind of able to see himself in the duck, and I've used the information that the physios have given me on Finlay on the duck, so Finlay's seen it as like a third person rather than being that person.
Now Finlay's on the move and confounding the doctors who said he'd never stand on his own 2 feet. Ming Ming the Duck's earned the affection of his newfound family and a comfy home of his own.
Properly wonderful, isn't it? There you go. Hope you enjoyed the show. It's been an absolute pleasure. See ya.
And Russell's back next Thursday at the slightly later time of 11 p.m. And Russell Howard's good news is looking for your good news. For your chance to get a story into the show, go online to bbc.co.uk/Russell Howard. You might even get your name in the credits. And if you want to see that episode again, but with more stand-up, Good News Extra is Saturday night at 11:35.